Hello, my name is Michael Sullivan, and I want to welcome you to today's webinar on our new online Cyberwarfare course, developed by our partner, Junction Education. I would like to introduce you to Derek Wessler, co-founder and VP of Sales and Marketing at Junction. Derek?
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. We've got a full demo prepared for you. What we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about Junction, a little bit about the structure of the Cyberwarfare course, and then we'll spend most of our time in the demo itself showing you the product. We will be saving time for questions at the end, so if you do have questions, you can put those in the chat in the GoToMeeting. You can put them in whenever you like. We'll be monitoring them throughout the presentation, taking them at the end of the presentation, but feel free to put them in as they come along. A brief background on Junction. Junction is a learning platform that is designed to make life and learning easier for students and for instructors. Junction was conceived and started by myself and my co-founder. Both of us were previously at McGraw-Hill for about a dozen years or so, and had worked on the digital products there, such as Connect, LearnSmart, Alex, and had seen higher ed move through the digital evolution from online homework into adaptive, and where it was several years ago. And we started Junction because we believe that technology should make learning both better and more affordable. And what we were seeing is that technology in higher ed wasn't really doing either. And we started Junction with that intent. We began the company delivering OER-based courses, mostly in introductory subject areas. We have a catalog of courses that we sell to tens of thousands of students, and we've refined the platform and its usage and how students move through material through our OER courses. And we're now really excited to be partnering with Jones & Bartlett Learning on Cyberwarfare and a number of other courses. So Cyberwarfare, we'll talk briefly about this before we jump into the demo. The courseware is designed to be simple and easy. Now, what that means is it's supposed to look and feel like the websites that your students use on a day-to-day basis. We have a bit of a saying that if we need instructions for students, then we've designed something incorrectly. Everything should be intuitive. Everything should be really simple. The second thing about Junction, Junction is the single point of learning for this courseware. If you look at the way a lot of things work, say there's downloads or there's tabs that get opened, or students are asked to open another app to get to their ebook. And all of this movement between web pages or tabs or new applications just creates friction, which makes it very hard for students to learn. And anytime a student has to go through that, the likelihood that they're not going to continue learning increases, and it breaks that study habit. So it's the single point of contact content, and it's designed to be really simple and easy to use. The course includes Jones & Bartlett content, the ebook, ancillary materials, as well as OER materials that we've included. We'll show you all of those. Junction is fully customizable. So as I'm going through the demo, you'll see structures, layouts, videos, readings. Everything in the application is customizable. We'll talk about how that can work and what you can do. But the courseware is designed to match your syllabus rather than having you change your syllabus to match the courseware. And finally, it integrates with your LMS to keep things simple, this notion of keep everything easy and simple. So with that, let me jump into the product demo. And speaking of LMS integration, we're going to start here in Canvas. So the way your students or you can get onto the application, one, you can just navigate to our website and put in a course code if you'd like, or you can use single sign-on through your LMS. You'll see here that I have two links in Canvas, and this would work the same way in Blackboard, Desire to Learn, Schoology, any LTI compliant LMS. I can navigate to my course homepage, or I can set up deep links to specific pages or lessons within the courseware. I can also set up links to quizzes, and the grades will then push back into my Canvas or Blackboard gradebook. So as that works, I click my link here, I'm asked to open in a new window, and you'll see that I now am immediately taken into my course. My user ID is captured from my LMS, I'm automatically registered. You'll also see that this is my course. Professor Westler. So as you request access to the courses, you're actually given your own instance of the course, which means that you can control both the customization, the order of things, but you can also control any due dates or any scheduling. So if you didn't want to open all of the lessons right away, you can control that. This is your section to manage, and the students will enroll directly into this section. So this is my course homepage. You'll see very clean and simple. We have a course introduction, and then the lessons that are part of Cyberwarfare. You'll notice there are the 15 lessons, and then a course review and final examination at the end. These 15 lessons match exactly the 15 chapters in the textbook. So if you are a current user of the textbook, this is a very simple transition. It moves exactly in lockstep with. So if you're using the textbook on your end, and some of your students may be using textbook as well, this actually flows very nicely. It's the same content, just structured and built out a little bit more interactively. I did mention customization. So if some of you don't teach all 15 chapters, or if you don't teach them in this particular order, or if maybe you teach this over 2 terms as mini sections, mini courses, all of that can be adjusted for you. And you could reorder things as you like and change things. You can change the names of things. So if you don't want to call it lesson 1, if you want to call it week 1, you can do that as well. The other thing to note, and when you request access, you'll see that is as an instructor, you have this tab at the bottom for instructor resources. And you'll notice that you can get both your instructor's guide or downloadable PowerPoints or any other instructor material that you might need. It's all right here. The goal is to keep things very simple for both you and your students. You shouldn't have to be, sniffing around for this kind of stuff. So let's imagine we're in week 4. And it's lesson 4, intelligence operations in a connected world. I simply click on that, and I'm dropped into my lesson. You'll notice first, the lesson layout looks and feels a lot like the course layout. We try to keep things simple. We also try to keep things consistent, allow users to very quickly understand how to navigate, how to move around, and just remove all of that friction so they know exactly what they're getting and where they're going. Secondly, all of the lessons follow the same structure and flow and material as this particular lesson, lesson 4. So if you're thinking about other lessons, they all look and feel the same. They all have the same material in the same sequence. And again, that is to keep things simple for students so they know, they start to figure out what they like and what they don't like. If they want to look at things out of order, if they want to go searching for something, know exactly where to find it. You'll notice that the lesson follows a very typical learn, practice, assess pedagogy. So we start out with the learning material, lecture slides, videos, and reading, teaching the students with the material. There's then the practice activity, so an interactive presentation, flashcards, and a practice quiz. And then there is the assess at the end of the lesson. So there are 2 assignments and a lesson quiz. You'll notice the assignments. Every chapter comes with 2 assignments. These are from the instructor's guide. They're Jones and Bartlett Learning created. These are submitted assignments. They are documents that are submitted to you. All is done through the application. You as the instructor, you can assign both of these. You could assign one of these, or you can assign neither of these. It's really up to you. And if you didn't want to assign them, you can simply take them out of the course. But these are provided for you, so assigning these is very simple. You just leave it in the course, and that's that. So in terms of the flow, right, users typically start here with the first page, and they start in this case with the lecture slides. The goal here is to start off students with the high-level concepts, new terms, new ideas, start them off slowly and easily in a fairly simple kind of experience, right? PowerPoint, it's short bullet points, it's not a textbook, so it's not something that's going to kind of hit them across the head right away. It's a nice, easy way to get introduced to some of these new topics and these new concepts, and they can flip through. Very simple, very easy. And the goal here is to get students engaged and get them moving, and then introduce them to the deeper learning of the textbook. So as students finish here, they can navigate to the next page. Navigation is done a couple of ways. So they can navigate here, anywhere within this particular lesson, and you can see they can see their progress. They can open up the menu bar and you'll see that they can actually navigate anywhere in the course. Or what most students do is simply click next. They're then brought to introductory videos. The videos are designed to present what we'll call real-world context for the material that they're going to be learning and reading about in the text next. This is not designed to be a substitute for the textbook. This is designed to present some real-world implications or real-world stories about the material. So in this case, there's a video on the Council on Foreign Relations that you can see here. Students will watch this right here. There's right, we keep students here. They don't go out to YouTube. When they end up going to YouTube, they never come back. So we give them this information here. The videos are short. They're very rarely longer than 5 minutes. The students simply don't watch that long, but it piques their interest. Once they're ready to move on, they then move into the reading. This is a complete ebook. So the complete ebook comes with the course. There's no need for students to purchase a physical textbook. They can if they'd like. We find that most students don't. The ebook, the first thing you'll notice is that it jumps them to the chapter that they need to go to. So again, minimizing that friction. Students don't want to have to try to figure this stuff out. They want it to be able to click next and go and start reading. So it's very, very simple. Even though it says jump them to chapter 4, they can navigate the entire textbook. So it just jumps them here, but they do have access to the complete textbook. This does come with all of the features you'd expect from your ebook. So you as a student, you can highlight, you can take notes, you can do all of those kinds of things. Makes it very simple, makes it very easy. Everything is contained for a student. They know exactly what is where and how to actually move through the course. Once the student is done with the reading, they then move to the interactive presentation. This is a blend now of reading and practice. Students are presented with this. This is now a bit of a review of what they've learned in a bit of a different format. It's really good here for students because it's great reinforcement. They're going over the same concepts that they've read about, but in a slightly different format. And you'll see that it's interactive. So the learners are going to be able to go through this. They're going to be able to click on all of these, and they're going to be able to navigate this themselves, where the textbook lays it all out for them in a sequence. Here, they're actually in control of this, so they can move around the interactive presentation as they like. And for areas where they may have had some trouble, they can then focus in on, or areas where they don't, they would just simply skip over. There's also activities associated with all of these. So in this case, there's a matching activity, and I'm probably not going to get this right, but you'll see that they get matching here, and the question types varies. And they're given feedback on this, but it's low stakes, it's simple, and it's a way for them to go through the material. Part of the pedagogical idea here is that we're giving students the same material in different formats multiple times. And as they see things more than once, it's more likely that they're going to remember it. So moving forward, students then get additional practice. So in this case, they get a flashcard activity, and they can go through and they can practice their terms and their definitions. Again, very simple, very easy for them to use. They do have the option to change their study modes if they'd like. So if they wanted to do things like, run this as an assessment or run it as a test, they can do that. You'll see I can go to tests, and it will now give me these where I have to type in the answer, and it'll grade this for me. It'll assess this for me when I submit. But you'll see I have matching questions, I have fill in the blank questions, I have multiple choice questions, and this is all dynamic. So it gives learners a lot of opportunity to go practice on their own, very low stakes. Again, more low stakes options here, a practice quiz, giving students the opportunity to assess themselves in a low stakes environment. These aren't submitted, these don't show up in the grade book. The students can just come through and they get immediate feedback on what they're learning, so they can go through and they can figure out what they know. They're given multiple choice questions, true false questions, multiple select questions. I got that right. So again, just giving students the ability to assess what they know, allow them to be reflective a little bit, and then they can, of course, go back into the material as they like, depending on what they know and what they don't know and what they feel they need to continue on with. Once they're ready to move on, they move into the assignments. As I said, there are two. Again, you can use either or both or neither. They all come with a written requirement assignment. Again, these are found in your instructor's guide. These are also editable, so if you did want to change the assignment, you're welcome to and include your own assignments. You can do that within the lessons, or you can do that more broadly within the course as a final term paper or something like that. But all of your assignments are right here. And then for students, they would simply upload the files here. So they just drag and drop their file, and they can upload PDFs, they can upload Word documents, PowerPoints, whatever it is, and they would upload them right to you. Very nice and easy for students. It's also very nice and easy for you because it's simple. Students aren't going to be calling up and saying, hey, can you resend the assignment, or I didn't know where it was. Everything is right in here. There is no due date set on this particular assignment, but you can set a due date, which would then show up at the students' calendars as well. So it's simple, it's easy, and it's right here. There's no more students saying, yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Again, the second assignment, similar look and feel and format, as you can see. And then finally, the lesson quiz. The lesson quiz, an auto-scoring lesson quiz at the end of each chapter. 20 questions, again, multiple choice, true, false, multiple select. You'll see that you can change the parameters here. So this one actually has a due date. I've allowed myself 3 submissions on this, and that's obviously adjustable. You can control that. You can control when answers are released. So if you wanted to hold all answers until the quiz was due, you can do that. If you didn't want to release answers at all, you can do that. This particular quiz has a time limit, which you can set if you'd like. And you can also accept late work. So we know that that's always a problem when students ring up and I couldn't get online, I couldn't do this. You do have the option here to allow a grace period at the end. So I can say that this quiz will, it's due on Monday the 22nd, but I'm going to keep it open until Wednesday the 24th. And students can submit up through Wednesday the 24th. It will show up in the gradebook as a 0. The student will be told that it's a 0, but you then have the option as the instructor to go in and accept it if you'd like. But it's all set up so you don't have to deal with the students calling up and saying, hey, I didn't know. So before I move to the dashboard, what I'm going to do is I want to go through some of the features and functions within Junction. So that was the content and the content layout. As I mentioned, we try to keep things really simple and easy for learners. And whenever we talk to learners, there's always things that they run into, challenges, issues, whatever it might be when they're learning. And we try to give them the tools they need directly in the courseware. So as an example, if they need help, they have an assist button. The assist button will allow them 2 options. So it allows them to find an answer yourself. So if I say I'm looking for my grades, I can search for that, and I can open this up, and I can immediately find out, hey, where are my grades, right? And it'll give me this answer here. So I can help myself. If I can't find my answer here, you can start a conversation, and that will trigger directly to us, and we will provide technical help for students. So there's an option there for students, and we encourage you as the instructors that if students do have technical issues, that they contact us, because you can't help them with the technical things, nor should you be able to. But we're here to help them when they do have technical issues. Number 2, messaging. So we allow all of these students in the section to message each other. This is a feature that you can turn off if you don't want it. But as students enroll in your section, this list will be populated, and you can message as you would with text messaging. Right, so I can send a message there. I do also have an option of, you'll see here, video chat. So I can do one-to-one video chat with anybody else in my class. Really nice feature, especially for online or blended courses where students may not know each other. They're not going to be sitting next to each other in a lecture hall. They also may not want to give out their mobile phone numbers or their email addresses. So this is a really nice way to make it context specific and allow that kind of barrier to be put up where you can say, yeah, contact me through the app. We can, we can chat through there. We can do that. Notes. So I can take notes directly within my courseware. And when I take my note, you'll see that it stays right here. My note is tied to my particular page. So as I navigate from page to page, my notes change. It's a really nice auto-organizing function for students. We actually see students sitting in class often, with their notebooks open, with their laptops open, taking notes here. And the reason we hear that is students would rather often tell us that, yeah, like if I take notes sequentially, then like my notes end up all over my notebook and I don't know exactly what's where. Some are written in a notebook, some are in a Google Doc. If I do it this way, it's rather simple. And I have a course notebook, and you'll see that it's now auto outlined for me by lesson, and it obviously updates. So I have all of my lessons and my pages and the notes that appear there, so I can scroll through my notes, and then when I find what I'm looking for, I can simply navigate back to whatever page it is that I wanted to go to. I have a search feature. So students are going to come across things in the textbook and say, oh yeah, I remember that. That was from chapter 3, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Right? We were talking about the Talon manual. And they can throw it right into the search, and they can then navigate directly back to whatever it is that they're looking for. It makes it really simple, really easy. It keeps them, again, right in the application. They don't have to open up a book or do something else and get lost finding things right there for them. They get a glossary. So again, a searchable glossary, right? If I wanted to look for a Talon manual, I could search, and I get all of the terms from the book. And then finally, I also get a professor video meeting. And again, this is something if you didn't want to enable, you don't have to. But I can open up my professor video meeting, and this is online office hours. So you can see me here doing this demo. You as the instructor, you can open this up whenever you like, and you can invite students to this. You can say, I'm going to be on every Thursday at 1, or you can simply message a student, and if they can't make office hours, you can hold them right here. You can say, just jump on. When another student comes on, they'll pop up right here. You can have multiple students in here. You can manage a chat. You can share your screen. Students can raise their hand if they have questions or things of that nature. But it's very simple, very easy. And again, for students who may not be able to get to office hours, for online courses, if you find that a number of students are having problems with a specific issue, you can shoot out that note and say, hey, at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be discussing this one particular topic. Jump online and we can all talk about it online and I'll work our way through it. So that is the essence of the courseware and the course experience on the student side. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump to an instructor dashboard. You'll notice that this is a U.S. history course. This is demo data. So the data, obviously I showed you the data in the demo course. There would not be very interesting. So this is populated with demo data. This dashboard is available to every instructor. It's based off of the usage of your section specifically. It auto updates immediately, so you have all of the most current data. I'm not going to walk you through all of it. There's a tremendous amount of data here. You can scroll through score distributions, time distributions. You can see who's logged in, who's taken notes. I'm going to highlight 3 things for you because they seem to be of most interest to instructors. And they're based off of the questions that we always get from instructors. The first one is, what % of my students are on track to pass? It's also sometimes, how well are my students doing? So we're going to show you not only the average score of your students, but we're going to give you a bit of a breakdown by score band. So you can very quickly here see, okay, I've got 4 students. It's about 25% of my class who are scoring 69 or below. Most things on this dashboard are clickable. So you can open that up. You can see your very wonderful class here full of wonderful scientists, and you can see their scores. You can also drill down into any of the individual students, and you'll be able to see their performance compared to the class average. So in this case, Enrico Ferme, I can see very quickly that he's scoring very well, much better than the class average. He's actually spending a lot less time than the class average. And I even get drilled down here, where I can see how the student is performing lesson by lesson, both on a assessment performance basis as well as a time basis. So it allows me to very quickly get a sense of how well a student's performing. I do have the time measure here, so I can see if a student's starting to fall off a little bit, and if there's any rise or fall in student performance. It's all right here for me. The next question we get from instructors is, okay, well, I can see how my students are performing. What can I do about it? And while we can't tell you exactly what to do about it, we want to give you a little bit of information to help. And that's what you see here, which is the engagement dial. We are going to break down your section into 3 different cohorts. So on track, so meeting the cut score in the course. If you are not, if you are off track, you are going to show up in one of these two buckets. You're either going to show up as struggling or disengaged. Struggling students are those students who are putting in the time. They're in the application, they're doing the work, but they're still not scoring well. Disengaged students are just that. They're not spending the time. They're not in the material doing the work. And instructors tell us all the time that they treat those two cohorts very differently. And struggling students that are putting in the effort, that you as the instructor will meet with them, you will help them. If they're putting in the effort, you will put in the effort to get them through the class as well. Whereas disengaged students, the message is slightly different. Again, clickable so you can actually see who's in each one of these buckets. You can email them in mass. They're all BCC'd, so they do not see each other. But if you wanted to, for example, something we see a lot, instructors will message the struggling students, maybe once a week and say, hey, I'm having special office hours, or reminding them that there's office hours, or something like that. Whereas the disengaged students get messages that are slightly different in tone, more about engaging with the material if they do want to successfully pass the course. The final thing I wanted to show you here was the alerts. And built into the courseware is an early alert system. The early alert system will send messages to students about once a week. It will send messages to their email and to their SMS. When students register for the course, they're asked to opt in. If they don't opt in, we do not send to them, obviously, so it is an opt-in. But we send to students' email and SMS. And we send to SMS because that's what students read. Students don't read their email very frequently. But SMS, they pay attention to. The messages are customized for each student depending on their performance. So if they're doing very well, they'll get positive reinforcement. Keep up the good work. If they are struggling, they will get positive messages encouraging them to come back to the material, but a positive message. And if they are disengaged, they will continue to get messages. They do change the messages, encouraging them to come back and spend time with the course material, reminding them that not spending time is a great way to not pass the course. The messages happen automatically. The goal here is to take some of that burden of administration off of your shoulders, that you shouldn't have to be looking through the grade book, trying to figure out who's doing well, and then messaging them and all of that. So this happens automatically for you in the background. And students seem to really like it. We actually get, even though it says a do not reply address, we do get replies from students all the time. And it's just that reminder, hitting a student in the middle of their week when they're at work or with their family or not thinking about cyber warfare, getting them that reminder that says, oh yeah, I need to actually get into cyber warfare. I need to actually go do something with this material. It's a nice reminder for them. So that is the essence of the courseware. That is the course material, the flow. What I will do now is I will pause for a moment, come back to my PowerPoint here. And I will now open it up for any questions that may have come through. I'm happy to answer any questions about whether it be the content, whether it be the flow, whether it be how students register, anything that's on your mind, any questions that have come up throughout the demo, happy to answer for you right now.
Thank you, Derek. That was fantastic. We do have a few questions. One of them is concerning price. It is $64.95. That is a student price. They purchase directly through a link. And Derek, we also have a question about Canvas and LTI integration. Can you go over that one more time?
Sure. So let me. I'll jump back into Canvas. So without getting too much into the weeds or the details, so Junction is an LTI. Junction is an LTI compliant application. So what that means is sitting behind Canvas, and this is the same for Canvas, Blackboard, D2L, Schoology, Sakai, Moodle. They all work on this LTI interface. And LTI basically sets the standards for our systems to talk to each other. So what that means is that when a user clicks this link, we will take their email from Canvas. We will either log them into their account or create an account for them. And then we will register them for the correct course. These links are, in just about every case that I've seen, able to be set up by an instructor. There's every once in a while we'll run into a campus where the LMS admin restricts that capability, but it's very infrequent. So, you set these up in your course. It requires 3 pieces of code. The whole process takes about 120 seconds. It's very simple. We do have instructions with screenshots on how you can actually do that. And you can then add these to any place in your course. So if you have them in your modules, you might have a link to a syllabus, you might have a link to something else, but you could set these up as you like. And I would come in here, just as you see, I would click my link, I would then click it again, and I would be immediately taken into my course. This was the first time I was registering, I might be asked to agree to terms and conditions. But the system is that simple. It works on web, it works on mobile, it works on tablet, whatever it is. It's a very simple interface for you to use. I will also mention, this can also be set up where one of these links is to a quiz, in which case when the user clicks that and goes to the quiz, the score that they received on that quiz will pass back automatically to your Canvas gradebook or your Blackboard gradebook, whatever it might be. So the integration is both, one way getting users into the course, but also two-way where we can actually push back grades as well. So it looks like there's also another question, a question we get all the time about the videos in the course and who maintains the videos and what happens when those videos come down. We do maintain those videos. We do keep an eye on them and make sure that they are up. As I mentioned, Junction, we had built and delivered and do deliver OER-based courses, so we're quite familiar with the OER world. So we have a pretty good eye about determining what the quality material is out there. The material itself has all been vetted through the editor, so they're not just randomly pulled videos. They are aligned specifically to each chapter. They do occasionally come down. That does happen. When they do, we will go in and we will monitor and manage that, and we will repost. We have some backup videos that we can also use in those cases, and that will happen automatically. So there's no need for you to change anything on your end. As soon as that's posted, it will flow through to your courses.
Derek, we also have a question about the accessibility, specifically concerning those videos.
Yes, so the entire application is WCAG 2.0 compliance. It works with screen readers, captions, and it resizes. It does voice. So with screen readers and things like that. So it is tested WCAG 2.0 compliant and entirely accessible.
Derek, can instructors also upload their own content into Junction, also including recorded videos?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, the entire course is customizable. And just to give you a sense of what that looks like. So if I have edit access, it's just as easy where I can flip on my edit mode here, and you'll see that I immediately can edit just about any part of my course here. So if I wanted to call this, instead of lesson 1, I wanted to call this week 1, I could do that. If I wanted to schedule one of these lessons, I could do that. If I wanted to reorder things, I could do that. Quite simply, you can add videos, you can add PDFs, you could add whatever you like. One of the things that we do see instructors do sometimes is put in a lead page, so an additional page with an introduction of themselves. So a lot of instructors have the 2-minute intro to this particular topic, just introducing students to it, and you can actually add it to a new page, or you can add it to an existing page. Here, if you'd like, you have the ability to actually add something else to this page if you'd like. So it's all right there for you. You have self-service features, so you can do it yourself. We have instruction guides if you'd like. We're also happy to help if you need assistance with that. Happy to help you get your own content or your own videos, your own assessments, assignments, whatever it is that you'd like. All of that can be loaded for you.
Derek, how long is the standard student access, and can that be customized?
It can. It can absolutely be customized. So if you have a course that runs over 2 semesters or something like that, we can absolutely customize that. I believe standard access, is 180 days. Mike, you may correct me if I'm not right there. But if that's the issue, we can absolutely customize that. I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't catch that.
Yep, that's correct. 180 days.
Yep.
And do you, I guess I can kind of speak to this as well, but we have a question about what other offerings does Junction have?
Yep. So Junction has, we're working with Jones & Bartlett. We currently offer 3 courses with Jones & Bartlett, Cyberwarfare, Nursing Informatics, and Delivering Healthcare in America. We're looking to expand that portfolio all the time. So if you have favorites that you think would work well in this format, let us know. We also have a number of open educational resource-based courses for introductory subject areas. And you're welcome, you can talk to us, you can talk to your Jones & Bartlett reps about that as well. Those are Intro Psych, Intro Soc, U.S. History, both parts, microeconomics, macroeconomics, intereconomics, and Introduction to Non-Majors Biology.
Awesome. I think that's about it for questions, unless something comes in last minute. Derek, can you put up the contact information one more time?
I certainly will. One thing that also, just to mention, that does come up, if you, in terms of purchase and access, we can also work with your bookstores and get your bookstores course codes, so that's no problem as well. In terms of implementation, again, students, they can get a grace period at the beginning of the term. We know that students, you hit them with a credit card day one, they may not buy, and then all of a sudden they're 2 weeks late, of course, which is never a good thing. So we allow a grace period at the beginning of the term as well, so students do not need to make a purchase on day one. And they can then also, if they have student accounts, they can use those in the bookstore as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Derek. We do have the registration link up on the screen. We also sent it over chat. You will also be receiving a follow-up email with Jones & Bartlett Learning contact information. Feel free to reach out to your representative if you have any particular questions, or if you'd like a more personalized demo. We'll also have a link out to our YouTube page. This webinar has been recorded, and you can be able to watch it up there. And you'll also get the registration links once again. Thank you so much, Derek. Jones & Bartlett Learning is really excited about this product, and I want to thank everybody for joining.
Thanks, everybody.